Hey family, welcome back to Start With 1000, the channel where we're growing a real portfolio with real purpose, starting with just $1,000 and no extra money added in. If you're new here, I'm on a mission to show that you don't need six figures to build wealth. You just need a little bit of faith, strategy, and patience. Today, I want to talk about what value-aligned investing looks like for me and how you can start investing in companies that serve people and make profit. Let's break this down. Value-aligned investing means putting your dollars into businesses that reflect your values. For me, that means companies that serve the most vulnerable, companies that treat their employees with dignity, and companies that don't trash the environment just to make a buck. And somebody finally needs to say it. You don't have to invest in companies that treat their workers like trash or damage their communities. There is another way. And I personally believe that God is inviting all of us to be wise stewards, even in the stock market. Now look, my faith is the lens I use when I look at businesses, not in a judgmental way, but in a stewardship way. I want to invest in companies where the fruit, how they treat people, and how they operate is good. And you can see my values reflected in the two companies in the portfolio, GRAB and CNC. Those two companies are serving some of the most underlooked and underemployed people in their communities. And I know you're going to ask, where can I find these companies? Well, I'm going to show you today where to look. The good news is you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Somebody's already done the hard work. The only thing we have to do is just pick which ones speak to our hearts the most. All right, let's get started. So we're going to start at the Faith-Driven Investor website. Now, if you scroll down to the bottom, we're going to look at some of the ETFs and mutual funds that they have listed out. And there are plenty to choose from. Just pick one. And for the sake of time, I'm going to choose Sovereign. So now we're at Sovereign Capital's website, and they have a Capital Flourish Fund. All right, the ticker symbol for this one is SOVF. And this is an ETF that they have just started. I believe it started in 2023. And let's just take a look at the fact sheet. So here's where you can find everything about the fund. Let's take a look at their thesis. We believe an attractive culture creates a long-term competitive advantage for a company, and that biblical values lead to strong cultures which attract and retain talented employees. This, we believe, contributes towards outperformance versus peer companies over the mid to long term. So now we know how they choose their companies. It also reads, we rank 6 categories: CEO, spiritual integration, HR benefits and policies, chaplaincy, vision/mission/values of the company, employee resource groups, and the products and services of the company. Now that aligns perfectly with what I believe every company should be. And you can read the rest for yourself. Let's jump into the ETF to see what companies that they've chosen to be in their portfolio. And would you look at that? They've got all the stocks listed and divided by sectors, which is amazing. Now you can pick the ones that you understand, the companies that align with your values and your ideas. Now I will say there are some companies on this list that I don't agree with, and that's okay. They're not going in my portfolio. And let's just highlight one of the companies in the portfolio. And I'm going to cheat here and pick a company that I'm already invested in just because I know it and I like it. And this is in another portfolio, by the way. I'm going to choose AZZ Inc. Let's take a look at their website. And in the Explain It Like I'm 5 version, they just coat metal. And we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. All the good stuff is at the bottom. And we're going to click on culture. And as you can see, their values align with Sovereign Capital's values. They are a perfect match. In their guided values, it says, we value our dedicated employees' pride and passion by fully training and equipping them and providing them with a safe environment to grow spiritually, personally, and professionally. Now, you don't see that every day. They also value their customers by providing high quality products, and they value their shareholders by providing outstanding returns. Now, I know what you're saying. That's what they say, but do they actually do it? So let's just check. So have they provided their shareholders with consistent, outstanding returns? And the answer is yes. Over the past 5 years, they've returned their investors 215.99%, and that's not too bad. Now for me, this is the big one. Do they treat their employees well? I'm on the Comparably website, and we're going to take a look at some of their employee reviews. So far, so good. Nothing too bad. Great company to work for. Personable and honest about the leadership team. People love that they're all stockholders. One coworker would like the others to stay off drugs and alcohol and actually show up and do their jobs instead of playing around. I agree. Just say no to drugs. Just say no. So it seems that things are clean, they're efficient, they're safe. Somebody in operations has a serious issue with someone in maintenance. That sounds about right. Someone just likes going home at the end of their shift. That is also about right. So it seems that there's kind of a healthy balance between here, that overall it's a pretty good company to work for, has some issues. That's true for all companies. I don't hold that against them. It doesn't seem like anything's fundamentally wrong or broken in the company. So I will take that as a win. And the last question we want to know is, do they make good products? Now, their consumers are large-scale manufacturers, so they're not really leaving comments or reviews on Amazon. But if that's your industry, comment down below if you work with AZZ and if they make good products. Do they have good people? And would you recommend them to your competitors? And you can do this for each of the companies in the fund. And if you actually like all of the companies in the fund, you can just buy the whole fund. In your portfolio, you can just type in that ticker symbol SOVF and add it much like a stock to your portfolio. But if you're like me and you like to pick certain stocks, this is a good way to find companies that align with your values. And so now you know. Let's get back to the challenge. I want to give a quick update on the portfolio. Since the last time we've spoken, I've added GRAB to the portfolio. My goal was to get in under $5, and after their earnings last week, I was able to grab a position. Right now, I have 20 shares with the average price around $4.95 a share. The whole portfolio is down 20%, a little over $45. That's okay. This is a long-term investment, and I have about 10 more years to go. And my goal with this channel is to really inspire those who don't make a lot of money. For people who don't feel like the stock market is for them, I really want you guys to know you don't have to be rich to invest, and you don't need to be highly educated or well connected. The stock market is for everybody. It's for you, it's for me, it's for everyday people. Blue collar workers, moms, first gens, folks who never even owned a stock before. You can do this too. This small account is a mustard seed, and I believe that God can grow it into a tree that can provide a lot of shade and a lot of shelter for others. I just have to be diligent and be smart about the investments that I make. You might be thinking there is no way that you can pull this off, and you might be right, but the goal is to learn. This channel isn't about perfection, it's about obedience, it's about growth, and I just hope that you can come along with this journey with me. So that's it. That's what value aligned investing looks like for me. Now let me know in the comments, what's one company you believe aligns with your values? Don't forget to subscribe and share this with someone who thinks investing isn't for them, because it is. Thanks for watching. See you next episode. Bye.